streets, we had children in their shorts and t-shirts with sweat that drenched their clothes just as much as those that were producing flows. Running around on streets that became sidewalks, their vernacular, she be with I but see wasn't viewed as improper talk. It was a melody for the next track, paired with laughter and a scraped knee. We ran until we were out of breath. No one ever told us where our sidewalks ended because in our minds they didn't. Aside from musicality, we were family. For whom do you believe you are responsible? The exhausted man on the street shaking his tin can? See, the problem with giving a homeless man $1 is he'll still be homeless tomorrow. He may have appreciated your last 2 dimes, but he may have also appreciated a smile and a high. He shook his tin can to those same backbeats, but only got so back to say goodbye.
But we weren't saved in the motherland either.
My history,
Still has hardships.
my current situation,
Still at risk. Maybe I am more connected to Africa than you because I doubt the natural state of your hair makes you more self-aware of the struggles that African people go through. You can't think of history that's around you.
what about the kid who had no friends? He tried to dance to a rhythm that wasn't considered hip. His salsa wasn't laced with a familiar rap format. His skin color was the same as yours, but his steps did not match. Knees shook too much, didn't miss the beat, just caught a different one. So you left him there on the street, let his sidewalk end, detached from your own.
But what am I lacking? Is it because my ancestors are African or because my parents are too? But so are you. Or does the African American mean nothing? How many of you have traced it? For those who have afterwards, what do you do? Did it somehow change you? Did it make you see yourself more African? Or see African people more black or neither? Or are you just black? Even in your core, even in your soul, I'm here to say, I too am black.
I too am black. What about the mother, la madre, who sweat away her soul? The bottoms of her feet have always been as hard as her head, cracking her back for a backbeat that would never be played, all because of a system that never wanted her cha-cha in America's cage. But you were focused on the next pair of shoes you buy so you could dance to your next beats, knowing that her merengue melody would still be left in the back seats.
Black skin, full of sin, drowned in hardship, still recovering, felt more hate than I felt love. Dreams out of reach, too far to grab hold of. I hope you can already see that racism affects you as much as it affects me.
I bet 2 dimes you got somebody to be angry at, but left that anger as nothing that could be shaken. See, we waste our anger on people when we're supposed to be mad at a system. We got the wrong beats on repeat because we aren't understanding who is our responsibility. Heads looking down with arms crossed, but minds need shifting with moving hands, ones that beat on drums in the spirit of the unity of bomba, hip-hop, and love. We can't have the oppressed doing the oppressor's job. They'll keep your 1-2 step jive and salsa on the street because you believe that that man or that kid or that woman was ever a part of your problem. And if you stay thinking it's not personally affecting you, I can see why you choose to ignore them. But we need to stop being so selective about who is a part of this problem. Or we can keep playing pretend. And we're sure as hell going to find where this sidewalk
I honestly don't know what this piece is about. These are words that were stuck in the dome that I had to let out. And whatever direction they take is theirs. I say that and I mean it. But I promise you this. Everything I say right now, you've seen it. A shift is needed. Where we are right now, we gotta leave. A shift is needed. Not just t-shirts that say, I cannot breathe. A shift is needed. And this shift may press you for a couple of seconds, you see, but it makes my message flow easier, like sticky keys. You've seen the bodies in the streets, the lies and deceit, self-defense against the kid armed with skittles and bullets in the back of people as they retreat. And I know that we have problems that reach further than 5-0. That's real. But the boys in blue and their masters, I'm about to tell you how they make me feel. I say, fuck this country and everyone who runs it. Yeah, I live here, but am I really living where my life lies in the hands of those who have sworn to protect me, but they acting like Nazis? Difference is, they target black people instead of Jews. They just put my life in the air screen Yahtzee because they carefree. And it ain't fair. They carefree with my life, but hate the man that wants to give me free healthcare. Now, when I tell you that Obama as the president only has so much power, you might argue. But give me proof of your argument. Here's a hint. It's not there. What if I told you that a black president was a pacifier? To stop some of us from crying out about the injustice we face. A black president who was put in a position that has him hated by members of his own race. And I know what some of you are thinking. What the fuck is this? What happened? Ain't this that athlete that always sings about emotions and shit? Well, if you know me, you know I'm half Kanye and half Drake. But if you're hearing this, it's too late. You see, I left my soft side at home and I picked up the 808 so I can drum this message into your dome. Today, I am Omari. Now let's go. I say you cannot give me any advice. I say, fuck the police. Some of you for no reason end my life. You would flash me twice. Vertically and horizontally. You put me in a body bag. Thank you for making me the latest hashtag. Slow it down. Vertically and horizontally. You will put me in a body bag. Thank you for making me the latest hashtag. Sometimes I wonder how things will be if we followed Malcolm instead of Martin. Because where we are right now is so much better than where we were years ago, but it seems that we have become complacent and are no longer willing to take the step needed to grow and become equal with the white man. But then I think, can you blame us, y'all? The white man is in power, and that's a fact. Anyone who doubts that is, in my opinion, dumb. Your mental washed up. And for those of you that want to say, well, color doesn't matter in America, well, I hope you get a very serious paper cut from a blade in the paper cup so I don't have to hear your bullshit no more. Now, I know that was harsh. I low-key left some of y'all distraught, but hey, at least I didn't say, I hope you wake up black. You're 6'1", with your phone in your hand in front of the police. You're 6'1" in front of the police with your phone in your hand. You were a 16-year-old kid, but to them, you're a grown-ass man. I hope you're trying to convince them that it's a phone and not a law, and I hope that later that day they send the worst news ever to your mama. I hope you become the example for your friends, to never commit the biggest crime of all time, to never be black again. Like you can control them. Now, I know that we as black people, we're not perfect. We messed up, we made mistakes too. But I'm telling you that the foundation of our problems is the opposite. There's little we can do. This is not an argument. I am stating what I think is true about the white man's mission statement. Fucking up the lives of black people since 1622. But with all that I've said, I feel that there's still hope. Because I know white people that are not like their forefathers. And I know black people that have the mentality needed to change the way we are treated. We have lost a lot, but we aren't yet defeated. I have so much more to say, but so little time. And I'm honestly struggling to make these ideals of mine rhyme, so I'll end by saying, rest in peace to everyone we lost, mainly due to the color of their skin. Losing you was something that should have never happened for that reason. Be you an adult, teen, or child. And to you, the audience, I want you to know that this topic is something that weighs heavily within my soul and the souls of many others, even though we outwardly smile. Because we smile to keep the tears away. Because we smile to keep the pain at bay. Because we smile to let each other know, I feel your pain, brother. This is my way.
Shift your minds to a place where you don't have to know exactly what I'm saying to feel what it is that I'm talking about. Allow the energy and the vibrations of this room to move you. This piece is about the past, which we all have. And we all can say that there is just something about yesterday. It was something about yesterday that had me chasing unreachable peaks that little did I know would transform into ledges, enticing me with their heights. I did not know if I should measure with the inches I am away from the surface's truths, or the miles to go until I hit it. It was something about yesterday that made me forget that today was the day to work on my tomorrow. It lingered in me even after we part. And the others, they were afraid to preoccupy this space. I was flooded in my mind. I was flooded in my mind, held hostage. It was something about yesterday that exerted strengths we had never seen and used them to tug on the sunrise. So I woke up the next morning and mourning for its loss. Only the clouds were there, and they made me tremble in vicious vibrations. Force fed me flashing fears and poured the precipitation of purgatory on me. It was something about yesterday that had me wanting more, had me using nostalgia as Novocaine, had me numb to the nightmares it had inflicted on me. It saved me from the me that it created. I studied ancient dictionaries to try to understand the meaning of this affection, but all I saw was caution tape covering my conscience. Something about yesterday tried to make me forget that since conception, my legacy was ending cycles. Mama didn't even spot my changes when the cycle returned. And this time it hurt more. Why'd you bring it back into our present? You constantly push your past into our laps as if we can hold the weight of your regrets. Something about yesterday that sort of kinda crowded my comfort zone, teasing me in midnight's eve with the thought of a new start, pushing me closer to my arrival, then snatching me backwards into the torture of timelessness in its limbo. Something about yesterday, something about yesterday, something about yesterday will never ever end. It just pushes all of its yester into the day that then becomes the suffix for the present. Today always ends with another one of you. Suckling upon my sanity, you planted a seed in me. I chase tomorrow vivaciously, pray that they may bring me to the footstep of a forever. But I pay the ultimate price of reproducing more of yous. It was something about yesterday. It's been a long time since I felt close to the place where I'm from. Since the streets led me to questions rather than answers formed as death sentences. I just want to cry a few times for the men I had to see die while their killers survived. But wait, it's too late. We're not going to cry anymore. This courage is going to push us forward. With this strength I have risen. With this, I'm no longer pitiful, even though he's killable by a criminal. We're invincible.
I'm invincible, you can throw your sticks, you can throw your stones, but I bet you they're never gonna break my bones. Cause it was apparent from the start that I'm invincible.
I can tell you what I know about invincibility. It's the same exact thing that brought you here to me. This life that I'm living, this is my reality, and for you to understand is my last and final plea. I'm writing this rap because I want you to feel me, to understand what I've been through to get invincibility. That means I'm strengthened by everything around me, on the path that I'm taking and every obstacle I meet. This life that I'm making, it starts and ends with me. I'm God's creation, I claim no divinity. That means I'm flawed, come see what I see. I don't claim to be perfect, I have
Cause
humility.
I'm invincible, you can throw your sticks, you can throw your stones, but I bet you they're never gonna break my bones. Cause it was apparent from the start that I'm invincible.
I guess you never really wanted to hear me yell. I'm making all this noise.
Trying to be loud.
Commotion runs through my veins like heroin now, and the hero inside me thanks to be proud. I guess tranquility was never meant to be. I guess it couldn't last with no stability. You had the sense.
You have the sensibility.
What you doing to me? You're making us enemies. I guess opposites attract, but they also clash. Put pedal to the metal and watch us crash.
Cause I'm invincible, you can throw your sticks, you can throw your stones, but I bet you they're never gonna break my bones. Cause it was apparent from the start
that I'm invincible.
That's what they'll say. They'll drill you with nation over race like a nail into drywall, and soon you'll be reciting it for curtain call before you can even understand liberty and justice for all.
America, land of the free, home of the brave. The spectrum was too wide, the rainbow burnt too bright. 10 letters, 2 words, and shiny new shades cover our wounded eyes.
Colorblind. The solution to racism that took so long to find, but this solution leaves people of color feeling nothing but undefined. Avoiding the color of my skin is avoiding the issues that have been dividing society as virtue and sin and considering it a win. To not see my color is to not see me, while a cripple is more than their wheelchair, it's a part of their identity, just as color is a part of my story, his story, those who came before me, my ancestors who fought for their rights and not for the glory. Now maybe you have good intentions, but let me mention that the fact that you can blind your eyes to my melanin implies that having color still makes me only 3/5 of a person.
Stop sipping your tea. This shit is our business. When they refuse to hire you and me, acceptance, excluding the minorities. Maybe they can't see it, because they're part of a corrupted majority. You need to watch what they say. None of this bullshit like
It shouldn't have happened in of us should just be gunned down. Colorblind strategies create belief that only certain black deaths are tragedies, but let me tell you that the flaw is in the mentality, because in reality, it's impossible to maintain a permanent state of blindness. This cloth is more like a selectively permeable membrane that divides us, division into hood rats and track queens and people of color wearing jerseys for the white team. Do you see what I mean?
Colorblind people, let me tell you for a fact, it is not a compliment when you say, you're so cool, it's almost like you're not black.
It's funny how being black is treated like the hate as a sin, but I bet it's helped Kylie Jenner score a few more men. People around the world are now that knowing them while others try to rectify what is not biologically within them. Picking and choosing what parts of the culture can be stolen away to their shopping bag and sticking us with the bodies.
And there is a difference between cultural appreciation and an uninspiring fixation. White Americans take this black culture as something to be materialized, trying to rock dreads, spit, drink, and say nigga, nigga, nigga with chains on their feet. But when it comes time to truly be black, they all say, geek. Become the tool to build racial progression. You need to sit down and take this lesson.
But what are you going to do that hasn't already been done? You can't be all you conquered. You took my people and used their bones and ashes to build a foundation of bullshit for a nation of hypocrites who say one thing but mean another. Do you really feel the pain of my brother? Keep your downcast eyes as college has lines. We don't need you to realize our strength. We made it this far without the upper hand. The least you could do is stop pretending my husband's name is Sam.
But now we are trying to accept our skin and the history that comes with it when we divide ourselves into shades of the same pigment. We can't be playing the victim but victimizing our own. We need to set the example for the equality we desire.
We're so willing to rally around Cookie and her empire and Hoodie with their scandals, but when it comes to supporting one another, we look for fuss before friendships. Like, she a big booty Judy?
Sure.
Does she know how to dance?
Sure.
Does she rock the bantu out or a twist out? Yeah, well, I guess she's black enough. I didn't know blackness came with prerequisites.
We say we can't breathe, but we pollute our own communities, leaving our children there to weeds, inhaling our poison mentalities until they truly believe that niggas ain't shit and bitches ain't nothing but hoes and tricks. When people look at black, all they see is beef and laugh, but they have simply forgotten. We are the descendants of kings and queens.
But they'd rather we be silent than seen. When we don't fade into the background, they hit the lights and pray that we don't make a sound. But baby, my commotion is just getting started. This year, there are approximately 300 black freshmen at U.I. Still, don't send me to the school and think I'll assimilate. We're standing here trying to communicate. Your actions debilitate, these words can emancipate. This isn't a movement because movements have endings.
We're changing the game.
Shifting the deck.
It's a rotation, 180 degrees. Let's stop depending on a system that doesn't protect us. Come full circle and depend on one another. Pledge allegiance to your communities. Take off the blinds and start reading between those red and white lines. Red, white, and blue, yes, there's black.
Puerto Rican.
Asian.
Jamaican.
Haitian.
Native American.
Latino.
It's our nation too.
Services, we adopted it, or we never had to take it. shit, knocking out for the continent, why I get obstinate. When they say I can't breathe, it's not postulate. The show code over every I see, knocking out like a white stick. Cause meanwhile, otherwise, you won't get by it. There might have been a time when you can take what you think yours, but that ain't wrong. You can't make it, get kicked, it's the eat, make it speak wrong. Not the ones who's been spitting all, got they wait on. You either love whole cats or you trying to get your mink on. When you only see what you've been at the brink on. And know you know what your ship will sink on, as long as you don't strip it on. But we come a long way from there, so don't stop there. If not fair, that's where the good will reach. Tear neck over that old shit that you hold there. Feel all that bullshit that you still hit. Keep your third eye open, right forward feelings. They broken focus, tight in your sense. Don't blink or you might miss it, don't lay low, but pause and just listen, approach and look closer. Cause there's a lot of shit going on. Cause there's a lot of shit going on. But we've been going strong, but we gotta know what we going wrong. But we going wrong. Do you remember your confusion when you first had to learn the ropes? And then what happened fast and held high. Started taking notes and niggas started cherry picking goals and ideals. Learn to defend what you feel by coping with the real and notice they ill. Moon time didn't heal, only safety and comfort and up for the pill. I don't think it's still be pill. How could Baltimore king shelter in an angel with a double twin and with a shot of gin and paradise within the cage. I happen to beneath the rage, telling as I age. All the stupid feelings I saw in fifth grade making no sense. As I should be finished for facts, thinking back a lot. So the loaded snack. The fact that we're out intuition carry prejudices on our back. What we won't do is forcing it to react. We were isolated the most and that is personal. The self-care drive for shit is farcical. I'm looking at this shit like it's a funeral, just a carnival. Man, it's fucking perfect. And I got all of my memory in my hospital. But when you picture leader pulled, you like to